Tonight, me and my dad had the idea to bring out all 15 of our EQs, daisy chain them together, and see what the frequency response is. We didn't know what to expect, but it sure does look cool. So first of all, let me explain how I did it. I first grabbed my audio preamp and plugged it into my computer. The way the software works is that it uses channel 1 as a loopback channel, finding the frequency response of it, and subtracts it from the actual measurement to get a really accurate result. I then ran the audio software that outputted a sweep signal through the preamp through all of the EQs to the amp where I can monitor it through the speakers. The tape 2 output then gets back into the preamp's input where the software can measure it. Here's a video of me setting up the audio program. Okay, so the software I'll be using is called REW, Room EQ Wizard. It's for if you want to calibrate studio monitors or something like that, but I'll be measuring the frequency response of all these EQs. Let's look at the Preferences tab. And I have all the inputs and outputs selected here. I'm using ASIO at 44.1 kilohertz, which will do the job. If it's running something like totally live, like making music on FL Studio, that's when ASIO becomes a problem. But for now, it's working fine. If you click Calibrate Sound Card, this will actually show you the input and the output and what's coming in from all the EQs. So I'm adjusting the preamp level right now on one of the EQs right here, and you can see I'll get that adjusted, and that's good enough. Here's the reference in that's looped back, the channel 1, which is it's completely looped in from the input to the output from to the input. So this will show. This software will also measure the reference, which is the loop back, to show us if there's anything wrong with the sound card. Maybe the sound card's not flat. So now, that's pretty flat. We have that all set up. That's just noise. That is how much noise all the EQs have added. That's proof. So now, let's cancel that. Here's the actual main settings page. I use this timing option. I don't know what they all do. That one just works best. We'll be able to take a look at the calibration data from that loopback that we plugged in, that I talked about earlier, hopefully. So, here's the output, the input, the reference output and input. Now, let's click Start. You can hear in the background, I have my receiver monitoring the signal. So, this is through all the EQs. I don't like using SPL. SPL just gives a weird... I believe this SPL option is trying to estimate what the frequency response would sound like in real life, which we don't want. This is the actual raw, I believe, data. So you can see here it's very flat, and we can only hear down to 20 kilohertz or 20 hertz. So none of this really matters here. And just for proof, I'm going to adjust the mid-range 250 hertz, 550 hertz, and 1 kilohertz range on one of these EQs here. And let me do it again and see what this comes up as. Oh yeah, you can definitely see it there. So I adjusted the mid-range on one of these EQs. You can kind of see it there, those 3 bumps. I have 3 of these sliders pushed up on the EQ here. So that's actually going through. That's proof that this is actually going through all these EQs. I'm pretty surprised that it's that good, because that would make a very good listening experience, because that's pretty much almost flat in our hearing range. So compared to, I forgot to look at the sound card calibration. This is you can see here slightly, ever so slightly rolls off here. That right now I have this like really amplified here, so we can really take a look. You can see here that bumps up there, but that's probably just something with the impedance of the cord. If we look at this, back to this, our main, go back up, compared to that, you can really see where I adjusted that mid-range. So yeah. Oh, that wasn't the one I adjusted the mid-range on. This one here was. But yeah, that's how I use Room EQ Wizard to measure the frequency response on these EQs. And you can also use it on tape decks and use an acoustic timing reference. It has to be a 3-head tape deck, though, in order for that to work. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.